Everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we go over all the biggest and best books that you can pre-order. Then your pre-orders are due Sunday at 9, so you don't miss out on any of the comic goodness. Then you don't go into your store and say, "Where's that new book I wanted?
Where's my books?"
Where's my books?" And
Yeah.
they say, all the smart people pre-order them.
That's right.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, but this is a guaranteed way that you will not miss out on any of those. So if you want to follow along, you can head to infinityflux.net where you can pre-order these books as we go, or you can head over there anytime. Everything you pre-order you get 10% off of, just as an added bonus. So we've got a big show for you today, and some big new number ones and a lot of great stuff. So let's start off with our featured comics, starting with
Thunderbolts #1. So this is a new miniseries from Marvel featuring Bucky. He has all of this intel that he has inherited from the Outer Circle. You know, the top secret organization that he infiltrated back in the Captain America series. He's going to use that intel to get justice against the establishment. You know, get the man right. So he's going to team up with, and I'm going to have to read this, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. I can never remember her name. But together, they are going to assemble a team of Black Ops heroes. And we've seen some of them like Red Guardian and US Agent and White Widow, Shang-Chi, and a few others as well. And they're going to go after some high-profile targets like Red Skull, Kingpin, and Doctor Doom. I think that sounds awesome. Like this Black Ops group of heroes going after these big-name villains. That should be really fun.
It's like Secret Avengers back when they had that kind of covert team.
Yeah, and of course, greasing the wheels, getting you ready for the Thunderbolts movie coming out next year because a lot of the same characters are going to be in that. So just sounds really, really cool, spy espionage type stuff. So if that's your bag, then definitely check this out. So we have our A cover right here. We also have this. Who is the artist on this one?
I believe this is Inhyuk Lee, I believe.
Okay, that sounds good. And then we have our George PEREZ variant. We have our CASANOVAS connecting variant. I can't wait to see what that's going to connect with.
I would have to double check.
Yeah, we'll go back and look. We have a Lucas WERNECK ski chalet variant. We're going to see. There's a bunch of these coming out in the later part of this year. I don't know if there's any more on this show, but this is going to be a new series.
Winter sports.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And then we have a Peach MOMOKO Nightmare variant, and yes, that does look like a nightmare.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing quite a few more of these nightmare variants. Okay, next up is a new one, Batman Off-World. This is a 6-issue miniseries written by Jason Aaron, who was just announced that he's going to be one of the writers on Action Comics for a little while. So Jason Aaron's back at DC, and the art is done by Doug Mahnke, who I love. He was a fantastic artist back on Green Lantern back in the day. Just a fantastic artist. And this is going to be really cool. So this kind of feels like it may be a out-of-continuity story a little bit. Which is great because it's about a younger Batman. He's on patrol as a normal night when he runs into a villain or a bad guy that he realizes is actually extraterrestrial. And it seems like he's never come into that yet. You know, his life is very like street level, criminals, everything. And this really opens up this world of possibilities to him as he decides to to save Gotham. Apparently something's going down. He's going to have to head to the stars, the outer reaches of the galaxy, and kind of be young Batman in space for a little bit to try and stop this. So it's a little fish out of water for Batman. Him kind of coming to terms with this bigger world of the DC universe. That's why I feel like it's a little bit outside of main continuity. Because, like he may have known about Superman at this point or whatever, but this seems like before that. So I think this sounds really fun. This is a great creative team on this, and only 6 issues, so definitely sign up for this one if you're a fan of Batman and space and all that goodness.
Batman in space. Like I wish that was the title.
At one point, he's going to get his ears knocked off. And he's just going to be Space Ghost.
Yeah, nice.
So we got a few variants. We got this is the LEIRIX Lee variant. We also have a David Finch variant. And we wanted to mention we're getting close to local comic shop day. I believe it's in late November. And a lot of these books are going to have special covers that you can pre-order that will be available that day. So if you want the local comic shop day kind of virgin variant of this, you'll definitely want to sign up for that.
Next is Sentry #1. So this is a new Sentry miniseries, but not featuring Bob Reynolds Sentry. You know, you see him on the cover there. This one instead, the question is who will be the new Sentry? We don't really know yet, but what's going to happen is that there's a whole bunch of ordinary people all over the world who are suddenly manifesting the Sentry's powers, but they're also experiencing parts of his memories as well. Will one of them survive long enough to become the new Sentry, or will the power destroy them? Will it just completely overwhelm them? Because Sentry is really powerful. Can any mere mortal withstand that
And I
much
wonder if
power in
that
them?
means the void. They're also going to have pieces of the void that
Oh,
are
could
going to
be, yeah.
manifest.
In addition to all of that, Misty Knight and Jessica Jones are going to start an investigation that will change everything that we know about the Sentry. So more secrets to come from him, I guess. But yeah, we instead of one guy, the Sentry maybe is a team now. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we've got our A cover right here. We also have a Salvador LaRocca variant. We have a Peach Momoko Nightmare variant. And then there was a Scotty Young variant,
This looks
which
cool.
yeah, I just want that to be the Sentry.
It ends up being he looks like that in the
That's
normal
right.
Marvel universe.
That's right.
I love the previous Century series. I believe Jeff Lemire
Yeah.
wrote it. Really good kind of breakdown of the characters. I'm excited to see where this character goes
Right.
from here. Okay, next up is a really fun one called The Holy Roller. This is from Image Comics. And check out the creative team on this. You've got Rick Remender heading it up, along with Andy Samberg of SNL and Joe Troman from Fallout Boy is also working on it. The art is going to be done by Roland Boschie, and I believe he did the A cover here, so you get a little hint of the art.
Which I think looks great. Like that looks awesome to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's super cool. I love the colors of it.
Mhm.
And this, we always feel like when a celebrity or an actor's involved, it's like, oh, are they setting this up to be like a movie or a
Right.
series or something? I can tell you, I've looked through the pages of this, and your main character in this looks a lot like Andy Samberg. So if that gives you any hint, and there's a couple other characters that I was like, I could kind of see this actor in that character.
I'd watch it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd watch
So
it.
what's it about? Levi Cohen is a professional bowler. He's a fantastic bowler. Everything's going great, but then his father gets ill, and he has to give up his bowling career to go back and take care of him back in his hometown. But when he gets there, he realizes that the town that he left behind is now overrun with neo-Nazis.
That's
And
never good.
no, and he is of Jewish descent and
Okay.
everything. So there's a little bit more there. And one night he gets attacked, and all he has there to defend himself is his bowling ball. And so, needless to say, it leads to him becoming the Holy Roller, a kind of vigilante whose main weapon is a bowling ball. It kind of mentioned he has trick bowling balls. He's like,
Okay.
or he's a trick bowler, so he does like special
Okay.
spins and stuff. So I think you're going to see a lot of cool moves from him.
Hopefully he does get trick bowling balls and he
Yeah.
does tricks with the trick bowling balls. Maybe there's a boxing glove bowling ball.
It's like maybe a bowling ball is just better than a boxing glove.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways. But it sounds really fun as he tries to liberate his town as this new vigilante character. Issue 1 is going to be 42 pages. So you're
Oh, wow.
already starting off with a double-sized issue. They even mention double the size of the issues, 3 times the riders.
Right.
It's
There's a lot.
It's all multiplied. So I think this sounds super, super fun. I think this is going to be really big. And skimming through the first issue, it's a mix of like, almost reminds you of a book like Southern Bastards
Oh
and
yeah.
Scalped and stuff like that mixed with comedy. So really fun one here. You've got our A cover here, and you have our Williams the Third variant as well.
So next is Marvel Voices Avengers. There aren't really any story details about the individual stories in this one yet, but you guys have seen other of the Marvel Voices books before. There, it's anthology book featuring characters from different walks of life, just in these short, self-contained stories. And that's what this is going to be. So there's going to be 4 different tales in this one, featuring various Avengers from different walks of life. And I don't know if it's going to be those 4 on the cover right there. I mean,
Pretty cool.
it seems like we have enough Captain America and Tony Stark stories, but maybe we'll get some more. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. The solicitation didn't mention which 4. It just said 4 tales of Earth's mightiest heroes. So if I'm sure we'll learn more as it comes out. But Got a cool cover here anyway. So that is our A cover. We have an Ethan Young variant. Maybe it is going to be
Yeah.
Cap because he's on that one too. And then Paco Medina with the other variant. So I guarantee one of them is Monica Rambeau. I'm calling it,
Whoa, that's a
man. I
real
know.
hot
Yeah,
take,
I
but
know.
okay, next up is Titans Beast World Evolution. This is a one shot. It even says on there the missing link is revealed. Now, a thing I feel like a lot of our show is informing about what is certain books. If you're excited about the Beast World, you may definitely want this. I don't feel like it's going to be like necessity because this actually reprints 3 issues. So it's Teen Titans #5, Tales of the New Teen Titans #3, and a story from Action Comics 1052. So you've got creators on this like Marv Wolfman, Bob Haney, Lee Williams, and then you got George Perez, Bill Moley, and Marguerite Savage. But it says each of these stories holds kind of a key to Beast Boy's origin and what then may signal his future in the Beast World story. I feel like whatever the story is, it's going to be very Beast Boy centric, and that he's going to kind of unlock a new potential within him.
Well, the Beast World storyline that's going to be starting soon. It's very centered around Beast
Yeah.
Boy. So this, like you said, this book is collecting other stories. It's kind of like setting the stage
Yeah,
and getting
especially
you
if we
ready.
don't know too much about Beast
Right.
Boy's origin. It's kind of been retold multiple times, but it feels like they're picking out these are some definitive
Yeah.
Beast Boy stories for you to follow. And there's only one cover for this, and this one is $7.99, but you get like 3 issues in one, so definitely a great deal with this new cover.
So next is Basic Instinct. Now this doesn't sound like a movie adaptation,
That's
right?
what I
This,
was wondering when you put a name like
yeah,
that.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't. The story sounds much different though. This one is written by Sam Freeman, and the art is by Vanessa Del Rey. So in this book, there's an anonymous artist who draws their inspiration from famous murders, and they are opening a brand new art exhibit that is based on the infamous Ice Pick murder. But on the first night of that art exhibit, one of the security guards is murdered, and there is going to be an investigation into, it's a who done it basically. And the exhibit's the art director of the exhibit is going to be investigated, and it's going to force him to question his own involvement. So it almost sounds like maybe he won't know, like, or
Mm.
maybe something happens and he loses his memory, and
Or
he black out and he comes to, and how
did
did
he
I?
accidentally allow something to
Yeah, like
happen?
so yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of that, but it's a murder mystery, right? A who done it, all that kind of good cool stuff. So if you like those sort of crime noir murder mystery stories, this might be the book for you. We have our A cover right here, and then we have a Martin variant as well. Oh, and it's like smoke, but then like the two people kissing. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
clever.
it's one of those you can kind of see multiple ways.
Yeah,
Okay, next up, this is like what I said before. This is the reason why we have the show to inform you about these things. And if you were to look at this, wouldn't know what this was. So
I would
this
just want to.
is,
I want to unzip it.
I know it's just tantalizing. So this is Cullen Buns Body Bag #1. Now I couldn't even find info if this is a one shot or a mini series or what it is. It's a new imprint from Massive called Overlook, so that's why it says that right
Okay,
there. I imagine you would see this and be like, "It's called Overlook," but
right.
it's not. So in this, Cullen Bunn, who is a fantastic writer and specifically horror, he does horror so
Yeah,
well.
it's got a lot of horror books out there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But in this, it is going to be a mystery. You don't even know who the artists on this are, and from what I glean from it, you have a chance to get one of 4 stories inside of it. And it because it says each sealed body bag contains the chance to uncover alternate storylines and monsters. So even it almost sounds like, and this is a shot in the dark, but even within the 4 possible stories, that maybe there's variations on those. I'm not sure.
No idea.
But it says features new horror archetypes and like horror figures making their debut. So when it uses the term debut, I have a feeling that maybe Colin Bunn will do more with these characters later.
Possible.
It's just all a big mystery, but it's one of those like you don't know what you're gonna get when you unzip it, and so but pretty definitively, it's like 4 stories that are a possibility. So
But it's not like
pre-order.
just like Forbes short story, like an anthology book. It's not that.
No, it seems like 4 different.
Okay.
issues within or a possibility
Yeah.
within this.
Interesting.
So if you're a big fan of horror, if you're a big fan of Cullen Bunn, like I am, so many good things. Six Gun, Harrow County,
Mhm.
great books. Definitely check this one out. Pre-order it because I imagine stores are going to under-order this one. I'm sure there's probably going to be one of these four that's a breakout hit that
Yeah.
that everyone wants. Try to order four of them. Maybe you'll get each of them. Work with your store and see what you can get. Trade with friends, all that fun stuff. But it's all of the comic gimmicks in one. Hopefully, the cover on the inside's holographic as well.
Yeah, embossed and
Boss
die cut with an acetate cover.
with blood in the ink. But overall, this sounds really, really cool. Of course, there's just the one cover for this because we don't know what's inside of it. But pre-order it now so you don't miss out on the fun.
So next is Eden Frost. This is a new book from Amit Teschler, and the art is by Bruno Frenda. This is about teenage siblings named Alex and Yuli. They're going to use a mystical golem to survive the chaos of the Russian Civil War. They are going to travel together through a war-torn Ukraine. They're going to experience the harsh realities of warfare. They're going to have to deal with ethnic bias, and they're going to, maybe get some national pride as they fight to find their place in the world. So very, I'm not sure if it's based on a true story or loosely based on a true story, or if it's just using the backdrop of a true event to
Mhm.
tell a fictional story. I'm not 100% sure yet. But I do believe that the cover artist right there, I do believe that's your interior
It
artist as
is.
well, and I really
I've
like
seen some
that.
samples of this, and
Oh
it
yeah,
really
yeah, it
reminds me of
looks great.
Venom.
I like that a lot. So that is our A cover, and then we have a Chris Mitten variant as well. Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
not
that
fun
one.
to travel through.
But it's very oddly pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is a book called The Agent. This sounds really cool. So this is by Matthew Gabella, and the art is by Fernando Dagnino. In this character you see on the cover, her name is Rhyme. She is a young narcotics lieutenant, and on it seems like a fairly routine
Yeah.
kind of bust in a subway.
Sounds pretty normal so far. Yeah.
Yeah. She realizes that the kind of the dealers there are maybe witches,
What?
and
That took a
they
turn.
do something that sounds like it like turns the world, kind of the area upside down. Crazy stuff starts happening. This really kind of opens the eyes of this agent who escapes unscathed for some weird reason, but sounds like she may also be a witch and just not know it because she is later contacted by a French division, kind of a secret service agency that is battling these witches and magic people with their own magic. So it almost reminds me of maybe like a BPRD or that kind of like hidden magic division in the government that fights against these to try to keep it on the low. But it sounds like it's going to really open the world up to Rhyme as she is pulled into this world she didn't know. And it's really fun because it talks about that sometimes it's better to have an amulet than a bulletproof vest, and that sometimes an email can carry a curse that's more dangerous than a bomb.
Don't I know? Yes.
But it's fun that it's like, oh, how do you weave the magic into
Yeah.
like how do they? Oh, they send emails with curses
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, this sounds like a really fun new series. This is our A cover here by your interior artist.
I like that too.
Yeah, then you have the Suzuka variant. And I really like this one. This is the Fritz Cassis Shield homage variant, of course, to that famous
Yeah.
Steranko Nick Fury
Yeah.
Agent of Shield cover. Next up, we have other number ones. So before we continue with this, I just want to remind you, head over to infinityflux.net right now, where you can pre-order all these books we're talking about. You can find so much more there, all the variants, all the goodness, and everything you pre-order you get 10% off of. Sign up for a pull list, get your books delivered to you right to your house, or if you're local, you can stop by the store and pick them up. Any of that is a wonderful possibility over at infinityflux.net, so don't miss out on that. Now, continuing with our other number ones. Starting with
Darkling. So this is another kind of horror sounding Archie comic. Like Archie has some of the
it's almost
best.
like they're printing more horror than they are just regular Archie at
Yeah,
this
which
point.
which is great. Now I do believe this is a one shot. This is about a woman there named Darla Lang. She looks like a normal college student, except for this big black cloak that she wears all the time. The cloak is actually a mystical artifact, which she can use as a weapon to trap her enemies inside the cloak and then teleport them away. And that made me think of Cloak from Cloak and Dagger from like Marvel Comics, right? So same kind of deal. But the college that she's enrolled in, it's called Ivy Hollow University. It has some dark secrets of her own, and she may end up finding more out about herself while she's there. Sort of, hanging out and sucking people up into her big tote all the time. But yeah, Archie has some really good stuff. I should mention this is written by Sarah Kuhn and the art is by Carola Borelli. So yeah, it sounds really fun. Like I said, Archie has some really great spooky horror books. So yeah, and this sounds like another great one to add to that collection. So we have our A cover right here, and then we have a David Mack cover as well. There's no, I
Can't
don't,
go wrong with David Mack.
yeah, I don't see a big black cloak, but I guess maybe she's that's on the coat rack next
You've
to her.
already been sucked into it by
That's
this
right.
point. Okay, next up is a new book from the Frettaverse called Frank Frazetta's Beyond the Grave. Not sure too much about the story here. This is a one-shot, and it's written by Justin Jordan, who I'm a big fan of. Uh, Met him in person, super great guy. Love Strange Talent of Luther Strode, and he has a great eye for horror stuff as well. So in this, it just kind of talks about, a lot of the Frazetta things are based off of original Frazetta paintings, and so this one right here is what that is based off of, where a strange undead creature rises from the grave and terrorizes the town. Just a classic horror story,
Yeah.
but told by Justin Jordan. It sounds like it's going to be really fun. Of course, now we're doing orders for after Halloween, but it feels like the spookiness just keeps on going. I
That's
mean,
fine.
yeah, just keep it going all the Nightmare Before Christmas as you
Yeah.
can. But just the one cover for right now for this one, which is the original painting, which is really nice. Okay, next up, we've got notable twos and threes continuations of series that have already started or are about to start. We want to make sure you don't miss out on jumping on the train for these. It's real easy to grab that number one and forget to sign up for the rest. You
Right.
miss out on them. So this is our friendly reminder for that.
So you definitely don't want to miss Jay Garrick the Flash number 2. So we have the new Alan Scott Green Lantern book out this week. And, that's another of the new Golden Age books from DC. And of course, this one is one too. And they've all been great. All three of these are great. So this one, in this one, Judy and Stargirl, they go to the mall. Like Judy, like everything, like
It's weird for Judy.
yeah, right. And they run a bunch of tests and they say, yeah, you're like everything physically is good, like you're a-okay. And then yeah, she's gonna so yeah, that's what I want to read is like a girl who hasn't been around since the 60s all of a sudden goes to the mall in 2023. Like that sounds
It's like, where's the arcade? And we're like, I'm so sorry.
she doesn't even know what an arcade is.
It's true.
Like the whole book could just be that of Stargirl saying, yeah, that is a food court, and that is where you. So yeah, they go to the mall, but while they're there, a foe from the 1940s crashes in, and I mean, I guess maybe that's it right there. I'm not too
I
sure.
like it. It's just a giant robot bear.
The name is Robear. That is so cool.
It's just give me a whole book about Robear.
That's yeah. So I guess maybe Robear comes in and they have to fight him, but Jay actually rushes in to save the day because he's the Flash. He wants to take care of his daughter, but Judy's like Judy doesn't want him there. She's like, Dad, I don't. I'm good. Me and Stargirl, we got this. So this sounds just like a ton of fun, just pure fun, just like the last one was. So I'm very excited for this. We have our A cover right here, and then we have a Manipul cardstock variant, and that looks great too.
I love all
that.
of this. Just give me more.
Just all of it, yeah.
Next up is Giant Robot Hellboy number 2, or as my autocorrect put, Giant Rabbit Hellboy, which is a whole nother thing.
I want a crossover. I want Giant Robear Hellboy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So this just continues. Not a whole lot of information. This is a 3-issue miniseries. We got issue number 1 of that this week, where we found out that Hellboy's not exactly inside of the robot body. He is elsewhere with like a thing on his head that's his brain is controlling this giant robot, but it makes it almost even harder. Like he can't escape from the body he's in this robot as he is fighting all these monsters on this remote island. But also, what's the purpose of him being in here? And what about the girl who is on like a mission on this island as well? That kind of seems like Hellboy maybe is a distraction from what's going on. But it's all just a big, thing so you can just see giant robot Hellboy smashing monsters in all the best way. So definitely check this one out. This is our A cover. And there's also this, I believe this is a Darrow connecting variant.
All right, so next is Universal Monsters Dracula #2. I was
The
untold.
Uncanny
Yeah, the
Dracula.
uncanny. Oh, that would be cool though, right? So in this one, Lucy Weston suffers from a mysterious ailment. Dr. Seward calls in Professor Abraham Van Helsing to help, which
Classic.
that sounds really cool. And Dracula's thirst is unquenched, and I guess he's going to want to get more. We just got the first issue of this week. I have not had a chance to read it yet as of this recording, but it's very high on my list. You did read it, and you
Yeah,
loved it, right?
yeah, it's super cool, and the art, like you see on the cover, this is a lot what the interior looks like, and that's Renfield down there, and that's what he looks like through the whole thing. Like his whole face is like glowing, and
Yeah.
it's super weird. It's a cool kind of like expansion of the movie, because of course this is the Universal Monsters
Right.
version of Dracula. So it takes those familiar faces and expands on that. Really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, so just continuing a cool classic story of the classic Dracula. We have our A cover right here. That's by Martin Simmons. That's your interior artist. We also have the Francis Manapul variant. And then we have the local comic shop day connecting variant. So we're doing this a little bit, probably maybe should have reordered
Yeah,
these.
weird that they do it like.
So this is so this is the local comic shop day variant of issue #2, but then
Yeah.
there's also the local comic shop day of issue #1. And if you put those together, that's you got Dracula biting her neck, and then that's her who's getting her
Yeah.
neck bitten. So those two go together and form this really cool image. So again, this is issue #1, so kind of like maybe a second print type of
Yeah.
deal, but a local comic shop day variant that connects with issue 2. So if you want that cool image, be sure to order both of these.
Okay, next up, we have Hack Slash Back to School #2 of 4. Issue 1 of this was fantastic. Zoe Thorogood is knocking out of the park with Tim Seeley's classic slasher hunter versus slasher book. And since takes place early on in Cassie Hack's career as a slasher hunter, she's just been accepted to this school where she's going to learn the ins and outs of hunting these slashers. And it sounds like there is going to be a attack of internet slashers. So how does that work out? We'll have to find out. This is her roommate. I believe her name is Boo, and she has this like rainbow happiness, but a very dark other side to her. And she's kind of Cassie's roommate in this. So really, really fun book here. This is our A cover for #2, and then we also have the F variant. EPHK is their name.
I guess that would be, yeah.
So very fun book.
All right, so next, Wonder Woman #3. We got #2 this week, and it was so good. I'm loving this series so far. So there's a couple cool things in this. So the Lasso of Lies, which we know it's like the glowing black lasso, like we know the Sovereign has it. Its true power is revealed as the Sovereign continues his campaign against Wonder Woman. So there's the United States is all hell bent on getting all the Amazons out of the country. So Diana is going to use her lasso in search of the truth about the Amazon massacre, which I found that interesting because ever since we got that first issue, I've had this like theory, like Emily, who's the blonde Amazon from the first issue, did she really kill those biker guys? Like, is that really what happened? Am I making a bigger story than what's really there? But it does say Diana uses her lasso to search for the truth about the Amazon massacre. So maybe it's going to turn out that Emily didn't. I don't know, but it should it should be pretty cool. Plus, what's also very cool about this issue is the return of Trinity. So Wonder Woman's daughter, we have not seen her since the backup story in Wonder Woman #800. That was her first appearance, and this is going to be her second appearance. Is in this issue. Not really sure exactly what her story is going to be, but this is the first of many adventures from the future. So it's going to still be like, I think, teenage Trinity, like what we saw in Wonder Woman #800. That version of her, teenager version, because she's not been born yet, obviously, in the main continuity.
Hopefully, still teamed up with Damien and John.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't say anything. That would be cool, though. It didn't say anything about that for sure. But yeah, so a new Trinity backup story in this one as well. And I don't know if there's going to be Trinity backup stories in every issue after this, or if it's going to be sporadic. I'm not too sure. But there is going to be one in this, which is should be really cool. So we have our Daniel Sampere cover right there. That's our A cover. We have a Jim Lee cardstock variant. There's Trinity right there.
Very cool.
We have a Julian Totino Tedesco cardstock variant. We have a Mike Deodato Jr. Artist Spotlight variant, and we have a McFarlane Toys action figure variant, which is
just
they
announced.
just announced this, right? So, I mean, I wonder if it was like timed that because I can only imagine if I had seen this before that announcement, I'd be like, whoa, are they making a new? So, yeah, they just announced a new McFarlane Toys Wonder Woman figure, and it's already on a cover, which I think is great.
With that's like the reveal cover
Yeah,
for the
that's
reveal
the reveal
picture.
image. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, next up, we've got Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, issue number 2 of 7. So we read issue 1 2 weeks ago.
I think so.
Uh,
Last week.
was it last week?
Yeah.
Okay. Really fun issue. The way we read stuff in advance, it
Yeah,
throws me
it
off
throws
when
me off.
books actually come out. But issue number 1 was really fun. This kind of I almost want to think of it as like an idealized version of the DC universe. It's a classic. All the classic characters are there. All of that. And the Legion of Doom did something terrible. They accidentally brought all of the Godzilla verse, the MonsterVerse kaiju to the DC universe. We haven't even seen them face off against them yet, but we know Superman, like where we left off, he is flying to face off against Godzilla.
Yeah.
Hopefully, just like this. I'm very excited to see what happens there. What's going on with the Legion of Doom? Where are the other monsters? Where did they pop up? We only saw where Godzilla showed up, but
Right.
Kong and some of the other creatures from Skull Island.
That's what I want
We
to see.
still-
Like, it's cool that Godzilla and Kong. I want to see which other monsters are going to show up and how the
I
Justice
mean,
League.
is King Ghidorah gonna be? I
Yeah,
mean,
is Rodan going to be there? Like,
is
who's
Superman gonna tie Ghidorah's heads into a knot and tie them? And
What if Cyborg hacks into Mecha Godzilla and
That would
fights Godzilla that
that'd be
way?
really
That would be
cool.
cool.
well, we can just write our
Yeah,
own. It's fine.
but
But don't miss out on this fantastic series. I think this one, just like the Batman mixed with Ninja Turtles, all that, and sequels, I could see this getting,
Oh, for sure.
sequels and twos and whatever. So this is our A cover. We also have, it's funny how they're all doing some connecting. We have the David Nakayama cover and the other connecting David Nakayama cover.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of all of the characters in that one.
All right, so next is Green Lantern War Journal number 3, continuing this story of John Stewart and all the shenanigans that he's getting into. In this one, or we saw at the end of the last issue that he has been infected by the Radiant Dead. Will his powers help him to slow the infection in his body, or will it turn him into the most terrifying host imaginable? Because if you combine, I mean, the Radiant Dead have already exhibited sort of kind of Green Lantern type powers. And if you combine that with the powers that he already has, that should be pretty crazy. Plus, we're going to see Lantern Shepherd, who was the Green Lantern from the other universe that we saw in some of those backups a while ago. We saw him in issue number 1, but he was not in issue 2. So we're going to see him again, maybe learn a little bit more about him. So just more of this story being pushed forward. We have our A cover right here, and then we have the Raza cardstock variant as well.
Next up, we've got Void Rivals. This is Void Rivals issue number 6. This is actually the final issue of the first story arc. So expect the unexpected in this one. Of course, in this, the Premier Zalakak, who is kind of the leader of one of the two sides of the Void thing, is he'll do anything to stop Derek and Solila from escaping because they know too much at this point. But it also hints what's at the center of the sacred ring. You have these two warring worlds on both sides of this. I think we kind of just expect it to be a black hole or something like that, the void. But it hints that maybe there's something else at the center, and we were kind of speculating: is it maybe Unicron? Is it?
That would be so cool. Like, I don't think it is. I think
Yeah.
that's a pipe dream, but what if?
Yeah, there's so much it could be. If it is a void,
Yeah.
like where does it send you if you go through it? So many options. I can't wait. I know Kirkman has, something crazy planned for the end of this first story arc. That's how, Walking Dead, Invincible, Fire Breather,
Firepower.
Firepower.
Yeah.
Fire Breather is that other image comic. They all, first story arc ends with huge things. I'm sure this will be no different.
All right, so Daredevil number 4. I'm really excited about this one because Bullseye returns. He is going to interfere with Matt's new life as a priest. Hell's Kitchen is going to get caught in the crossfire between these two duking it out here. And it says that Daredevil's going to be, he's going to have to make an impossible choice between stopping his deadliest enemy, Bullseye, and saving the soul of his friend. And I'm thinking, I don't know if that's Elektra because she was possessed by that demon in the first. I don't know who that might be, or if
Yeah.
it's like the other guy there at the youth home with him. But I'm just excited that Daredevil or that Bullseye's coming back to
Mhm.
Daredevil. We haven't seen them duke it out in a while, and that's classic Daredevil right there. So we have our A cover by John Romita Jr., and then there is a Peach Momoko Nightmare variant as well.
Yeah, and this one, good luck finding this variant online. I feel like we're one of the first places to show this one off because
Yeah.
we had to really dig to
Hmm.
get this one. So very cool one there. Next up, we've got cool covers. These are just really cool covers we want to make sure you don't miss out on. And I bet there's some cool stories behind those covers. Starting with Conan the Barbarian. This is Conan number 5. So this actually starts uh a new story arc after the last one just ended with the artists are going to be going back and forth. This is going to be drawn by Doug Braithwaite, who has a fantastic style for Conan. I've already seen some early pages from it. Looks amazing. So just really cool with this one where it's kind of returning to Conan. It's after Belit has died, but it kind of brings up the haunting of her in his mind, kind of the true love of Conan's life
Yeah.
as we revisit some of those. So really went cool in here. This is our the Zurcher cover for this. We also have the Puebla cover, which I believe is Belit on the cover there. We have the Tor variant.
Is that De La Tour?
Actually, I think this is. I think this is. It looks like Kevin Sharp. No, this is the or this is the Liam Sharp
Yeah.
cover, and that is the Tor variant.
Okay.
So very excited for this new story arc.
Yep. Avengers number 8. This one sees the Avengers facing off against the Twilight Court, or I guess one of the Avengers is going to face off against the Twilight Court. That's a whole team of people versus one Avenger. So not really sure who's going to come out on top. But the most dangerous Avenger joins the conflict. I don't really know who that is.
I mean, they all have their
They're
own
all, yeah,
levels of
they can all be
dangerous.
dangerous. And this does say too, the Avengers are trapped in a world they never made and are struggling to break free. Not quite sure what that's about
Mhm.
yet because we haven't. The first story arc just wrapped up, and that didn't have anything to do with this. So more to come on that, I guess. We do have this really cool Peach Momoko Nightmare variant, and then we have an Insignia variant as well. Just a big old white A on the cover. Yep.
Next up, we have X-Men number 29. These are some variants for that. This issue also sounds really cool because it says Enter Doom's X-Men. So mutants from Latveria
What? Oh, that's cool.
team up together to create their own kind of version of the X-Men. It says, also like all the other X-Men and the mutants, it's horrible for them. Latveria still loves their mutants and everything, so they rise up to be a thing
Yeah.
loyal to Doom. So that's just Doom is like a Professor X character. I would kind of love to see.
I'm sold.
It sounds
Yeah.
really fun. So this is our Russell Dodderman trading card
I
variant.
love that. I love that series of cards that
Yeah,
bliss from. Oh, it's great.
and that look for Wolverine is
Yeah.
great.
Well, no, brown suit's better.
Well, I know.
Don't at me. You know it's true.
And brown suit's my favorite, but yellow is also
Yeah,
great.
classic.
We also have the Peach and Mocha Nightmare variant with Rogue. We have this really cool Jacob Edgar X-Men 60th variant with your classic team on there. And then we have our Russell Dodderman Ski Chalet variant. So there's another one of those
Yeah,
kind of
that's right.
wintry variants are doing with Storm with some coffee and I floating across the slopes, I
Yeah. Who
guess.
needs skis when you can fly?
Almost looks like a Hellfire Gala
Oh,
variant
that's
with
right.
a
Yeah.
cloud
Yeah.
dress.
All right, so next is the Invincible Iron Man number 13. Probably my favorite series from Marvel right now. I'm absolutely loving everything in this series. This does say Iron Man has become the X-Men's worst nightmare. I'm not really sure how that's going to take shape yet because he's hanging out with Emma Frost, but he hasn't really crossed paths with the X-Men yet. And which mutants are willing to work with him again? So maybe he's burned some bridges and maybe he's got to repair those bridges.
Maybe too many of those Sentinels look like him.
Oh,
People
all
don't
right.
want to deal with
Oh,
it.
dude, maybe they blame him, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's his technology, so yeah, maybe they're mad at him even though he didn't build them. But yeah, he'll have to. Hey, listen, guys, that wasn't me. It was a
yeah.
one-armed man, right? So yeah, so we have this really cool This is the A cover from Kale New. We have the Ron Lim variant, and then we have the CF Villa Stormbreakers variant, which maybe they're getting closer.
Reading it, I feel like they've had some moments of kind of their guards are down and
Yeah.
but they're still very both hard eggs to crack.
Yes, definitely.
Next up, we've got Superman #8. So very excited about this. This actually wraps up the Powerless, the chain storyline that's been going on. There's going to be a huge battle in Metropolis between Superman and the Chained, but also Lex Luthor can't really help out because he's dealing with his mother, who
Yeah,
has just
it
appeared,
happens.
and his daughter.
Right.
If you read 850, some crazy stuff's going on.
Hmm.
A lot of questions about that, like why does she kind of look like Brainiac?
Yeah.
Some strange things going on. Hopefully, it's all explained here. We've got some fun variants for this. So this is the Liber Mayho cover. I like that this guy dressed as Superman on the streets getting a picture, but you can see behind him that Clark Kent is
Yeah.
walking by, being like, "What's up there?"
And the girl on the right, I swear, looks like Natalie Portman.
It could be,
Yeah.
definitely. We also have this John Jiang variant. Very cool. Watch the pokey part Superman. And we have the Mike Diodato Spotlight variant as well.
All right, so next is Nightwing number 108. The solicitation for this actually doesn't contain anything about this story. I'm sorry, the story of this issue specifically. It's just kind of sort of recapping what's happened so far. That Nightwing is researching what happened to the Hold, which is this big like secret vault where he put this package in. He has run into his ex girlfriend B, and she's almost kind of like a pirate captain now,
Yeah.
and he's going off on the sea with her to try to figure out what happened to the Hold, try to bring her brother in for justice, that kind of thing. But that's what's already been happening in this story arc. So I don't really know the details of this specific issue, but we did want to show you the covers because they are super cool. This is the Jamal Campbell cardstock variant. We have a Dan Mora cardstock variant, which is wonderful.
So cool.
And then the Mike Diodato Jr. Artist Spotlight variant as well.
Next up, we've got Star Wars issue 41. So this continues I'm kind of thinking this is the last issue of Star Wars tie-in with Dark Droids, if I'm not mistaken, because it wraps up the story of Lando, where he is on his desperate mission to rescue Lobot from Jabba's palace. So that sounds like it wraps up in this issue. We've got this John Tyler Christopher action figure variant with Qui-Gon Jinn, where you get his nice Serape poncho here.
It's casual Friday look.
It is. This one is also really cool. This is a Rod Rice variant, which, if you remember, there was a Darth Vader cover that looked just like this.
Oh.
But this time it has a Luke on there with the kind of bodies inside the lightsaber. Then we also have Star Wars Dark Droids D Squad number 4. This, I believe, is the final issue of this miniseries. There may be one more, but I think this is the last one, where an all-new D Squad forms as R2 leads a team to Jabba's palace, and the team of droids, the D Squad, fight against EV-99, who is the torture droid from Return of the Jedi that's burning the feet of the Gonk droid. So it sounds like a big boss fight in this issue. And this is the John Tyler Christopher variant cover with Ajax as an action figure.
All right, Catwoman number 59. So this is the start of a brand new story arc. The Gotham War will be over by the time this comes out. There's still one more part to go in that. But like I said, new story arc. It is called 9 Lives. And I guess I kind of wish I hadn't read the solicitation because it says after the Gotham War, Selena leaves Gotham. Like she's done, right? And so she's going to leave Gotham, but she has a new plan, 9 deadly missions, each one set aside for their certain lethality. So I don't know if she's maybe had these missions planned for a while, but she's like, nah, they're too dangerous. But maybe after the Gotham War, she's like, what have I got to lose at this point? Or this is all I have left. But yeah, she is going to take on 9 different missions after the Gotham War. And I have no idea what they're going to be, but it should be really fun to read about them. So we have this really cool, this is our A cover, David Nakayama. He's been doing all the A covers for the last little while, and they've looked great. Our Terso Cons variant, and then this really cool Forns variant as well.
I like how it says a new suspense thriller.
Yeah.
It's very
very 60s.
crime noir
Yeah.
novel. Okay, next up we've got Titans. This is Titans issue 5. This one sounds really fun. They're continuing the story. I guess we're still leading up to Beast World,
Yeah, get closer.
but with the Titans are in Borneo trying to help the forest there as they are being attacked by the demolition crew. But where do they get help when they're trying to do a mission like this? They seek the help of Swamp Thing
Oh, that's so
to
cool.
help with the forest. So if we see the Titans team up with Swamp Thing fighting the demolition crew, that is awesome.
Hmm.
Just Swamp Thing and everything is great, but this feels particularly like, oh, that fits the story.
Yeah.
So it sounds really fun. This is actually our A cover by Nicholas Scott. We have this really nice Jen Bartel variant as she's doing all these casual Titans variants.
Hmm.
And then we have the Mike Diodato Jr. artist spotlight variant as well.
Next is Venom number 28. This one sees Venom and Toxin teaming up to save Black Widow from the darkness within her, which is unleashed by her new symbiote. We saw in the last issue, I believe it was the last one. That's when she first got her new symbiote suit. And it's funny because it says Venom used to eat brains until he sort of got over that and became a hero, but Black Widow symbiote doesn't share that same sentiment. So now, or maybe we're going to see Black Widow saying, "I want to eat somebody's brains," you know. More Black Widow Venom. Good, I guess just Widow. That's her Venom. That's her Venomized name
Oh,
is
because they have to
Widow.
go one word thing.
I guess so. Yeah. This is our 80 grand off variant, and then we have a Takatsu suit, Spider-Man 2 variant. I don't think I have that suit in the game yet.
Oh. I did just unlock the Superior Spider-Man suit,
Oh, that was
which I
great. Yeah,
love.
that's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, next up, I believe you have this one.
Oh yeah, this is mine too. Sorry. Yep. So Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red are number 5 of 6. So just like the Black, White, and Blood, and Black, White, and Red, and Blue and Green, and whatever colors you want to put on a book. This is this more anthology stories. This one has one story is about a women in a medieval village. They reach their breaking point with the abuse of men there, and they summon the spirit of the Harlequin, which sounds really cool. There's one. There's one where Harley is on a prison transport plane, and she is intent on punishing the villain who let out a stinky fart.
Wow. That's
Which I think we
Maybe
all want to
her.
do. Yeah, when you're on a plane, for sure. And then there's another one where it says Harley comes face to face with an internet imposter.
Hmm.
So more fun stories there. And this is our Warren Lowe variant.
Next up, we got Batman Superman World's Finest, issue number 21. Can you believe this is issue 21?
I love it.
Still feel like this is like the new book.
Right.
It's because it always feels fresh.
It's still as good as it was when it first came out 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. It is so good, and we are continuing on with that kind of Kingdom Come storyline. You can see the regular versions are fighting the Kingdom Come versions, and it just says, can Batman and Superman prevent Boy Thunder, or now he's Thunderman,
I think so, yeah.
from becoming Magog? Which we kind of know, at least in one version he does, but can they kind of rewrite history and stop
That'd be
him from
crazy.
becoming that? Superman just needs to appeal to his sidekick
Right.
and convince him not to. But
It's an old chum,
but just fantastic. Every issue of this is a delight.
Mhm.
So continue with this. We got the A cover here by Dan Mora. We have a Brian Hitch variant where you see a lot of your Kingdom Come versions of the characters. I always like that Green Lantern with the big suit
yeah.
and the sword
Uh-huh.
and stuff. And we also have the McFarlane action figure variant with, I believe this is the Hush Superman.
I think so. That looks like the Jim Lee face.
I got that one, but his leg fell off.
Oh. This one is Batman the Brave and the Bold number 7. Just like the other books, 4 different stories, anthology stories. The first one is continuing the Back to Year One storyline, which sounds really cool. There's the second story in this is the first part of a new Wild Dog story.
Wow, we haven't seen him in
I know.
forever.
Yeah, Wild Dog Here Comes Trouble is the name of the story. There's a supervillain that moves to Quad City thinking that it's going to lead to an easier life of crime until they run into Wild Dog, of course. And there is this says a definitive Aquaman tale, so you may want to check
Ooh,
that one out.
yeah. If
And
it's definitive.
yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the official story of Aquaman in 4 pages, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
And then there's another Batman black and white story written by Matthew Rosenberg and art by Matteo Scalera, which is a
Oh,
fantastic
yeah,
pairing
that's
right there.
great.
So yeah, just some really cool stuff. And this one, this is a Jim Chung variant and a Gillum March variant there as well.
Huge.
Short sleeves on
Yeah,
Batman.
that's he's just wearing his Bat t-shirt
Yeah,
that day.
that's a casual Friday Batman.
Next up, we have Justice Society of America, issue number 7 of 12. So I'm wondering after these miniseries are over, if maybe we're going to see a new relaunch of maybe JSA instead of Justice Society of America or something like that. We'll have to see.
That would be super
That
cool.
would be really cool. But in this one, we kind of wrapped up our first story arc with this. Once the missing children, the lost children, the Stargirl rescue came into it. And we're continuing that now as the JSA and the Lost Children face down a new threat. You see on the cover there, looks like Solomon Grundy, classic JSA villain. So I'm excited to see where all this Golden Age stuff goes, and I'm enjoying the ride so far.
Mhm.
Next up, we got graphic novels and more, like reprints and all that fun stuff. And we're starting with
Sensational She Hulk #1, second print. So if the first issue came out last week, I believe, and it was super great, just a very fun continuation of the very fun previous series. And now, if you missed it the first time, if you missed issue 1 of Sensational She Hulk the first time, you now have a chance to get this one.
And we have Rogue and Gambit Power Play. This was a really fun mini series. I love Carlos Gomez's art
Yeah,
on
the art
this.
was great. Yeah.
And it's just, it kind of takes place during pre Fall of X, but we're getting real close to that in
Yeah.
this story as Rogue gets kind of drafted by Destiny to go on a mission, but Gambit he says, I want to go along for the ride too,
Yeah.
as it's a fun like relationship book along with some higher stakes going on there. So this is a trade. It collects 1 through 5 for $15.99, which is a pretty good price.
Mhm.
And that is it for comics from the future. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to infinityflux.net right now where you can pre-order all these books we talked about. Plus, there's so much more. We can't cram it all in one show. We'd be here all day.
That's right.
So check out these books and so much more over there. Everything you pre-order, you get 10% off of. And just become one of our awesome subscribers, whether that be in store, online, or on YouTube. We also appreciate those subscribers
right.
as well. They're every direction. So join us on Monday, where maybe Matt will be the only one going over some books. Very jealous about some of the ones we're going to be talking
Oh,
about.
no.
But tune in for that. Show your love and be nice to everybody because that's what's most important. And go read comics.
That's right.
Bye.
See ya.